Let's start tonight from here. Bryce Mbeseha, welcome to Tonight Undaunted.
Thank you for having me once more.
You're welcome. So today seems to be a very, very interesting day. While Ambazonians are observing the ghost dance, which is what they do every Monday, what they are used to doing, what they do with so much ease, with so much interest. We can even add with so much passion because they've also derived another form of fun and joy for themselves today, Monday. We see that in French Cameroon, they are almost doing what Ambazonians are doing, but in a more deeper and painful way. We can see from the second report that I gave here, they were forced to open today and people refused to open, and then fights and slaps and all of that ensued, and terror and all of that. It seems like the people of colonial French Cameroon, they are finally awake, because putting side by side the two reactions and the two lockdowns and ghost down, they are not the same. In one part, is peaceful, is a normal thing, is the order of the day every Monday. They are ready to resume tomorrow. But in the other side, is being attributed with lots of fight, lots of terror, burning, fighting, slapping. Something seems to be going wrong, or should we say something seems to be falling in the right direction? What would your choice of words be at this point, Barrister?
My choice of words would start with Ambazonia. I can say all Ambazonians have the right and they should have the pride to hit their chests for having initiated something called lockdown. Across Africa, we've not had this type of example before, but for 9 years, we have done it. And at Republic of Cameroon, that our lockdowns were meant to draw their attention, pretended not to realize it. They said everything was normal as far as Mbeseha is concerned. They tried to catch people to force them to open their shops. If they don't open their shops, they put double locks there to force them to open their shops. What's the opening of a shop? They are trying to enforce, to compel normalcy. Because a shop is a private place. You can open it when you want, you can close it when you want. All what the government requires from you is to pay your patent, your license. But the important thing is that it has crossed over to the Republic of Cameroon. And for the first time in the history of our coexistence since 1961, they have learned something. They are trying to cut and paste something from Ambazonia, something which they have derided it as not non-existent, as having no value. Now, in their first day, just the first day of it, you see them scrambling with what to do with lockdown. And they are really scrambling. What you have shown there is a tip of the iceberg. If you watch the news throughout that territory, you will be very, very sorry for that. In some cities, I've seen the council put some buses on the road. Since bike riders don't want to ride, taxi drivers don't want to drive, come and enter these free buses. And a newscaster asked them the question, to what direction would the buses go? And for how many trips? Somewhere else, like you find there, they are being chased in the streets, as if the ordinary street guy who chooses to stay at home is committing a crime. Elsewhere in Douala and other places, I found the colonial mayors and the DOs going down the people's houses to beg them not to obey Ghost Town. Why? Because the Ghost Town is ordered to show defiance for their pretentiousness of being normal. The Ghost Town that they find there, which have not even started, they're just about to start, are to make them face the reality that there comes a time that people take their own lives into their own hands. Taking that into your hands is not taking your bread and wine that you eat. You take your political future into your own hands, which they are trying to do, which we have been doing for 9 years. Now, faced with the similar difficulty, somebody there, hitherto unknown, until until October 12th. He was not a known politician other than the minister. Comes out, faces the people, wins an election, and he's being cheated of it. That guy doesn't have an army like us, the Amba boys, which Amba boys or ASA don't even fight during those lockdowns. That guy has nothing. He's facing a formidable army of the government, the B, the gendarmes, and everything that you can talk about, including French support and other foreign organizations. They are coming to fight a guy sitting in his private house, giving orders of defiance for the public to show their dissatisfaction with what went on. What can we say about all this? We can say congratulations, Ambazonia. The world at large is learning from us. Africa in particular is learning from us. And Cameroon in specific case is learning a lot. That people have to take their lives in their own hands. They can retire, you can no longer cheat the people. People have no weapon to fight you. Like the one that happened in Cameroon, they have no weapon to fight you. The weapons are all belong to the government. If they are doing it by the order of Issa Chiruma has no army. He has no police. He has no gendarmes. He has just nothing other than the word of mouth to say you have to go out and cry for your own rights. And locked up in his house or wherever he's hiding, his word has meaning to the few people. His word has meaning to the world. France, the greatest supporter of like people in Cameroon, and all their foreign allies are aware. They are seeing what is going on there. They have bases in Yaoundé. They see what is going on in Bafoussam, in Bafang, all across the country. A simple order from an opposition leader who, according to Yaoundé, lost the elections, but who, according to everybody, won the elections. And he is being cheated of his victory. Can I say it again, once more. Thank you, Mr. Chiroma. Thank you, the opposition of Cameroon. Thank you, Cameroon Republic, for learning a lesson from a tiny group of people, from 2 cubes of sugar that will not even melt in hot water. We are learning a lot. I hope that these lessons help you. And by this learning, we understand the plight that Ambazonians have gone through. Yes, you're on your first day and you're being trashed in the street. We're in the 8th year, 9th year, and we're being shot in the streets and killed. What went wrong with Cameroon? That politicians can no longer listen to the people they rule. Ambazonian problem, day one was a political problem. They thought they could fight it out. It has not succeeded. Their present problem now is a political problem, an election victory. They cannot find a solution other than picking guns, hiding private cars, going down the street wearing khaki shirts to beg people not to disobey them civilly. A lot to be learned. Congratulations, Mr. Xrema again, who encouraged our people in Cameroon to emulate our own example. And hopefully, by the time they come to an end, we will realize that we have a cause which has not merited 2 cubes of sugar that was refused to melt in boiling water. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Barrister. Let's take a little discussion into the protests. You know what they say about pain. Pain makes the people do the unexpected, Barrister Mbeseha. So before now, we used to hear that there is no form of protest. There is no form of protest, or protests are not allowed. Whether if you want to protest, you go get clearance or some sort of thing where you need clearance before you can come to the streets. But this time around, it seems like the people do not even care about all of that. Their pains have led them out to the city, and their pains have led them to react. You can imagine the people not wanting to start up, open their businesses. Today, the start of a new week, or people who should be willing and excited to go out there and work, but today they are not willing to do so. And the slightest trigger, they all pull out to the streets and begin to give some kind of protest. Ever since this result was announced, we have seen people in French Cameroon come out to protest. And it just seems like there is no longer any rule hindering people from expressing themselves. Do you think that the people broke this rule and that there is more to come? Because every day we are seeing a new level to the provocation, to the reaction. Do you think that there is more to come? Or you think that this may subside anytime from now? And they will just accept what the result that has been given to them?
I think there's a lot to come. I think for the first time, the people of Cameroon have become human beings. Over the past 60, 70 years of their independence, there have been what I can call, excuse my words, they are mummies. People who knew nothing or knew everything, but they didn't know how to fight it back. Because until now, if you are familiar with the news, every time you find a group of people, they carry a piece of paper. We are going to ask the DO to give us permission to go and demonstrate. They carry a piece of paper who have not been paid. They go to the man who has not paid them to tell them, we're going to demonstrate against you. They ask, they say there's no hurt. They go to the DO, who is supposed to be chef de terre, who is supposed to be representing the president who gives hospitals and all those medicines. To do what? To ask him to permit them to demonstrate against them. Where else does a person go to ask the oppressor permission to demonstrate against the oppressed? The oppressor, sorry, the oppressed to ask permission from the oppressor to demonstrate against the oppressors. It doesn't work. And now they have realized that they didn't go to ask for permission from anybody to go to the street. They felt the pain of the cheating and they went to the street. They did not need permission to go and do that. That's how demonstrations are supposed to be. They're supposed to be spontaneous in response of something that you don't like. Spontaneous because you're a large in group. Who could have imagined that the people in Tanzania, I think it's inspired your story there, would go to ask the president of Tanzania, who was running for a second term, permission for them to go and demonstrate against the election he won. Will he give you the permission? We should give you the permission. No human being will do that. And so a lot is to come. The people are learning, would have learned a lot, specifically from Ambazonia. We never ask for permission to go to ghost towns and lockdowns. We declare them when we want them. We act on them when we want to act. If we ever had to go and ask a Jew, a mayor, a governor to allow us to go demonstrate, we would never demonstrate. Because when you go look for that permission, you are telling them where you will start. You are asking them to send the police and gendarmes to that corner to harass you if need be. And so your question is whether more will come. I think their eyes are open. More than that is going to come. And until that government in Yaoundé becomes a little bit reasonable, until they become a little bit human, they are not going to contain the population. There are at least 20 million people who are found there. Once they all step to the streets, there is no way, no army will control a population of that size. The only way you can do is to give in to their demands. And so you see it is not just demonstration, goes down they are doing. These things were done today. But before today, see the reaction of government. Atanganjis, ministers, threatening people to lock them up, to do whatever thing they did to make sure that they don't do it. They abducted the Anise Ekane and the rest and locked them up with the idea of stopping the ghost towns. They have not stopped them. Even though Anise Ekane might still be in jail and others, they have realized, I'm sure, that they cannot by those threats quell an angry population. They can threaten Isa Chirima. If they ever venture to go and catch him, that is not going to spill more oil into the fire. I think that's what I can read from what is going on. And therefore, the 60 years or 65 years of independence should have made it difficult to realize that the people have grown out of their fear. And again and again, there comes a time that human beings can say, I have to say no. Because independence, freedom is fought for and seized. It's not given from a platter of gold. The time is over when our people and other countries like them will sit there and expect to go hand clap to whoever sits in it to be as a president, to beg for a road, to beg for a school, to beg for a hospital, as if that was a privilege. It is a right as taxpayers to have those things. The police, the gendarmes, and all those multiple forces they train there, as they right now say it by themselves, they're not trying to come and catch their citizens in the streets. They're trying to fight foreign enemies, invaders, foreigners, which is what they've been doing with Ambazonia. They fight us if we demonstrate, they kill us because by their own imagination, these are foreigners. These are the appropriate targets for what their soldiers were trained for. But again and again, they cannot do that, and they will not successfully do that in the larger Republic of Cameroon. There may be demonstrations today in Garawa. They may be known to yesterday in Bafusa, but the pockets that rise up will be quenched anymore. Over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister. Well, like you said, a lot is going to play out, and so we are here waiting to see all that will play out in the coming days.